right, I think we're back live. It was very interesting. Had all kinds of internet trouble uh, last night and this morning. So that's why I pre recorded the Detroit Milwaukee game from the 1987 replay this morning and uploaded it. Fortunately, the internet came back, so the uploaded pretty quickly, which is why I just put that out there. But since I didn't play this game last night, I thought I'd play it today and kind of get caught up, have like a day-night doubleheader. So this was the game that was supposed to have been played last night, and assuming the internet cooperates the rest of the way, we'll play the second game of this tonight at its normal time around 9:15 at night. This is the first game of a three-game set between the Colorado Rockies and the Milwaukee Brewers. And I admit I know some of the Milwaukee Brewers, not a lot of the Milwaukee Brewers. Rockies, of course, I'm learning them as I go. This is game number 10 on the replay. Kyle Freeland will be making his third start. He's 0-2 on his first two starts. So he's looking to turn things around against Freddie Peralta, who's a pretty good pitcher for Milwaukee. 17-6, 270 ERA real world. So might have his hands full. Like I said, I don't know that many of the – I know some of them. Like I know, Christian Yelich and Rhys Hoskins. Don't know much about I know Jackson Chourio was a pretty good rookie maybe a year or so ago. I know Contreras, the catcher. I think he used to catch for the Cardinals. Don't know much about Capra, Collins, Ortiz, or Freeland. I know a little bit about Brian Turang, or Bryce Turang, actually. So I'm going to learn them as I go. So, yeah, Kenyon, like I said, it kind of threw me off because I had trouble last night with the internet. It would, if you watched any of the game I just uploaded, I explained where the internet would pop in for about 10 or 15 minutes and then pop right back out. And if I tried to do a live stream, I would just be, it would be schizophrenic, basically, the lack of a better term. But so that's why I just opted for the recording. And of course, it's, quality on that recording was not very good downstairs in the living room. This is my normal spot. And of course, by sitting here, I've got my companion right here with me too. She's standing by. She heard the dice. She heard me come out here. She heard the dice stuff get all mixed together or put together. And she said, I want to be, I got to come out here and monitor the situation. So that's what she's doing. So game 10, Kyle Freeland. One good thing he does about holding runners is he is a -4 on his hold. So when you put that together with Jacob Stallings -1, it is a -5. So he might be able to keep some of the Brewer base runners from going hog wild on the bases. We shall see. Jackson Chourio. He's in right field for this game. He will lead things off. And like I said, I know some things about the Milwaukee players, but not a lot. So I'm going to learn them as we play this three-game series. In fact, this day-night doubleheader. I'm going to play this game. Then I'm going to go out and cut the grass, and I'm going to come back in and get dinner ready. And then after dinner, relax a little bit, and then come upstairs and play this second game. That's the plan, assuming the internet holds out. The internet has been pretty much on for the last, I would say, 2 hours or so. So I'm thinking, since it's been good for the last 2 hours, maybe whatever was going on has been corrected. I don't know if Xfinity had signal problems coming in or what the story was, but it seems to be fixed now, hopefully. Knock on wood, as they say. All right, here is Mr. Chourio. Hit a 3-9 against the lefty. He grounds to short. Handled by Tovar, one away. That'll bring up a guy I know pretty well, Christian Yelich. Of course, he's near the end of, he's had better days back in the, about maybe 7-8 years ago. He was a much better player, but he's near the tail end here. You can see it's all the way down to a 4. He used to be a 1. So he's, obviously near the end of his career, and he is the designated hitter in this game. 1-9, and that's going to be a strikeout. I'm sorry, I'm looking to the left side. It is a strikeout either way you go. So strikeout of Yelich, 2 down for William Contreras. He is the catcher in this game. I think he was supposed to be the heir apparent to Yadier Molina, but I guess it just didn't work out or whatever. I don't know the whole story behind it. But either way you go. Here is Contreras, 3-6, and that's a base on balls. First walk issued by Freeland. Contreras, no threat to run, will not go anywhere. Brings up former Philadelphia Philly Rhys Hoskins, first baseman. That's a 2-5 to the lefty. That's a double, 1 to an 11. 12 to 20 is a single. That'll be a double, but it's 2 stars. So Contreras will have to stop at third base. And I wasn't even going to do this now, but I realized that Uncle Ron is not streaming again until Friday. So I got a window here. And I don't want to go later in the afternoon because then Spokane Steve, I'll be jumping into his window, and I don't want to do that either. Here's Sal Frelick. Don't know much about Sal Frelick. He is in center field for this game. And it is a clutch situation, so Sal Frelick in the clutch will lose a hit, 3-10. That's a 5-7, and that is a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. So Kyle Freeland gets through the top of the first unscathed. We go to the bottom of the first, and it is Milwaukee nothing, and the Rockies coming to bat. Freddie Peralta on the mound. He'll be facing Brenton Doyle, who's had his struggles as the leadoff man. 6-4, ground ball third base X. First X chance, and it's going to be Vinny Capra. Don't know much about Vinny Capra, but there he is, Vinny Capra. See Vinny Capra as a 4-E10 at third base. 4 and a 17, he'll get to that. The E10 as a third baseman, E10. 13, 17, and 18. Got to avoid those, which he does very well. So good play. 1 away, and that brings up Ezekiel Tovar, shortstop. That's a 5-8, and that is a fly to right field, 2 down. For Ryan McMahon. 3-11 for McMahon. That's a ballpark single check, and in Colorado, that's almost automatic, 1 to 19. And that's a base hit for McMahon. 2-out single. He's not going to go anywhere. And here's Chris Bryant using the nameless player card, since he does not have enough at-bats to be carded by Strat-O-Matic. That's a 6-7, so we're under Peralta anyway. 6-7's a strikeout. First strikeout for Peralta, and that'll do it for the Rockies. We go to the top of the second, no score from Coors Field. All right, Vinny Capra back out. He'll be followed by Isaac Collins and Joey Ortiz. Don't know anything about any of the 3 of these guys. So we'll see what happens. Here's Vinny. So every time I hear the name Vinny, I just think of my cousin Vinny. 3-5 against the left-hander is a strikeout. 1 away for Isaac Collins. 4-4. He's a switch hitter, batting right-handed. Fly ball center field X. Doyle's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. E3 is the only question mark. And for as far as an error goes on an E3 center fielder, it's got to avoid 16 and 18, which he does. So good play there by Doyle. 2 down for Joey Ortiz. That's a 2-4 for Ortiz, and that's a home run, 1 to 15. 16 to 20 is a triple. And that's gone. Joey Ortiz, shortstop, hit 7 home runs and just 470 at-bats, but his home run on his card against lefties is right here, 1 to 15, that 1-4 slot. Same with righties. So 1-4 is where we get the home run call. So now this is saying 2-4. Did I roll 2-4 or did I roll 1-4? That's the question, because the dice now show 2-4. And I'm wondering if I've misread that. So let me go see if I can pull this up, if possible, if I can. Let's see about going back here and trying to find it. If I can get it to work, that is, to do this. Come on, give me something here. All right, let's see what we've got here. We're looking for Joey Ortiz. Is it that? And come on, Ortiz, where are you? There's Capra. I'll get past him and Collins and go to Ortiz. Okay, there's Ortiz. It was a 2-4. Okay. So I stand corrected. Let's look at it on the replay. There we go on the replay. There you can see on the replay it was, in fact, a 2-4 for Vinny Capra, not a 1-4. So I did misread it. It is not a 1-4. It's a 2-4, which is going to be a single to right field. So good thing I have this here. I know the glare is kind of rough to see this here. Let's see if I can get it up here better than that. 2-4 is what I rolled. This is on my phone on the replay. 2-4. So I looked at 1-4 by mistake, so it should be a single and not a home run. So that'll help Freeland out a little bit. Ortiz will get the single, but not the home run. And now with 2 outs, Bryce Terang is up. Let's see if Ortiz wants to try to get a lead. Needs a 2 through 5 to get the lead. He does not get it. So here's Bryce Terang. That is a 6'8" lefty, and that's a 1 for a double. Anything else will be a single 2 stars. That's a single 2 stars, puts runners on the corners with 2 outs. And now all of a sudden you got Jackson Chourio, the batter. Chourio in a clutch situation, and in the clutch he will lose a couple of hits, 112 and 2-8. That's a 3-4, and he grounds to short to end the inning. So Freeland pitches around that, and thanks to the review, it was a coach's challenge by Colorado, and it was a successful challenge. Took the home run away and put it back to a single and allowed them to get out of the inning. So that was a pretty good deal there for them, I think. And now we go to the bottom of the second, Kyle Farmer. It's a 110 for Farmer, and he grounds it to third. Capra will make the play, otherwise known as my cousin Vinny. Here's Michael Tolia, 5'8", switch hitter, fly ball to left, and that's hauled in out there by Collins. 2 down for Jacob Stallings, the catcher. 6-7, and that's a strikeout by Peralta. So a 1-2-3 inning for Freddie Peralta, and the Rockies come away empty-handed. We go to the third, no score. Rockies riding a 3-game winning streak after sweeping the Athletics. Starting the season 0-6 and then getting 3 straight wins against the Athletics. And now we go to the top of the third, and they have faced a much tougher opponent in Milwaukee. Here's Yelich, 2-9 for Yelich. Struck him out. So Yelich has struck out twice. Third strikeout for Freeland. Here is Contreras, 4-7, and that's a strikeout. Freeland, strikeout number 4 for Rhys Hoskins. Doubled his last time up. 5-6, and this time he grounds it to third. And that will end the inning. So that takes care of the Brew Crew in quick order. We go to the bottom of the third, no score. Game 1 of 2 of a doubleheader. The second game will be tonight around 9 o'clock Eastern, the old day-night doubleheader, as we make up for the game that should have been played last night, but wasn't able to be played last night due to internet issues. So here's Moniak. I'm sorry, yes. Wait a minute. I got ahead of myself. You know what I did? I got ahead of myself. That's what I did. Stallings should not have been batting. That should have been Veen, not Stallings. So we're just going to let Veen strike out. Veen is an uncarded player. He was called up when they sent down so I'm out of sorts when I'm not doing my games like I normally do them. But as I look at the transactions, they sent down Jordan Beck and called up Zach Veen, but Zach Veen is not carded. So we are taking, and he had a very bad season, so we're taking the worst card we can for Veen, and that's who we're using. In fact, we're going to use the same card that we used for Chris Bryant. We're going to use that for Veen. They both have 210 averages according to the cards here. But we're going to say Veen struck out because I believe it was off Peralta's card anyway. And Veen is, I believe, it's pretty bad when you don't know if the guy is lefty or righty, but Never heard of the guy, so never heard of him. So let me see if I can pull up retro sheet real quick and see if Veen is a lefty or a righty. Never heard of the guy. Like I said, a cup of coffee probably is what he came up for in Colorado. I guess they were trying for anything at this point. They were so bad, they would call up anybody they could, I suppose. So his name is, where'd he go here? Where are you? Zach Veen. There we go. His name is Zach Veen. That's his name, Zach Veen. And he hit 118. He did have one home run in 34 at bats. He is a left-handed batter. So we do know he's a left-handed batter. So we can keep that in mind. Right now, here is Jacob Stallings. 1-8 for Stallings, and he strikes out just like he would have done the other way. Brings up Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 6-7, and that's a walk. First walk issued by Peralta. And now Moniak might be trying to get a lead. He needs a 2 through 5 to obtain a good lead, which he cannot do. So he'll hold, and Brenton Doyle, the batter. 6-6 struck him out. Strikeout number 4 for Peralta. Brings up Ezekiel Tovar. 5-6, and that's a strikeout. So 5th strikeout for Peralta. So we played 3 innings, and nothing's come of it. And now we go to the top of the 4th. No score. Sal Frelick, the center fielder, up for the Brew Crew. 5'11", lefty, is a ballpark single check. That's almost a guaranteed hit. 1-19, and that's a 1, so no problem there. Base hit for Sal Frelick. Frelick is going to try to get a lead. Needs a 2 through 5 or a 12. Does not get it. He will hold. And that will send up Vinny Capra, my cousin Vinny. 2-2 for the lefty. That's a split chance. 1-9 is a single, 10-20, and he will line it to short. And that's a base hit. But just like in that first game this morning, the D20 is coming up with a lot of low numbers on those split hits, which gives up a lot of hits. Here's Isaac Collins. That's a 1. Freeland has a wild pitch rating of 2. And no wild pitch. So here's Collins. That's a 6-8 switch hitter batting right-handed, and that's trouble for Freeland. That's going to produce a run. Single 3-20, double 1-2, but it's a 2-star either way. That will be a single 2 stars. Scoring is Frelick, and the Brew Crew lead at 1-0. Going to third is Capra. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Joey Ortiz. Rockies, that's a 1 again, so chance of a wild pitch being a 2, no wild pitch. Rockies at double play depth, they need outs. 3-10 left-handed, and that's a ballpark single check. That's going to most likely produce another run, and it does. Another low number on the D20. 1-star advancement is 2-0 Brew Crew. Still nobody out. And the number 9 hitter, Bryce Turang. He is an A bunter, so we're going to have him bunt. Try to get the runners in scoring position with only 1 out. So we'll look for the bunt. The bunt is going to be a 4 on the white die, which means that it is bunted to the first baseman. So that means Tolia will field it. As an A bunter, corners are in, makes him a B bunter. So basically 9 or less is a good bunt. That's a 4. So that's actually speed. He's got a chance to beat this out. Turang's speed is a 16. 1-16, he beats this out. And he does. So he's trying to bunt for a sacrifice, ends up bunting for a hit. Bases are loaded, still nobody out. And we're back to the top of the order for Churio. And here comes the Brewers. They are starting to come around here on Freeland this next time through the order. Bases are loaded, nobody out. Infield back for a double play. 6-8. And again, that's that weak number for Freeland. That 6-8 gets him every time. 1-2 is a double. And that's a single 2 stars. That'll score 2 more runs. It's 4-0 Brewers, and there's still nobody out. And now the Rocky bullpen warming up in earnest. And it looks like they have Angel Sevilla is loosening in the bullpen for the Rockies. Churio has a chance to get a lead. Needs a 3 through 6. Doesn't get it. He'll hold, and here's Yelich. Still nobody out. 4 runs in. Rockies still, they need outs. They're playing for the double play. 111, and that is a ground ball first base C, so the only play is to first base. Scoring is Terang to make it 5-0. Going to second is Churio. But they at least get the first out of the inning. And now here's Contreras. If he doesn't get Contreras, he's probably gone. That's another one. No wild pitch. Here's Contreras. That's at 6-8 again. How many times can he roll 6-8? It's just a bugaboo he has. 6-8. It's going to do him in, as he's going to be gone from this ball game. Single 2 stars, scores another run. 6-0 Brewers, and that's it. That is it for Kyle Freeland. He is out of here. And Angel Sevilla will be coming on. Angel Sevilla. For Freeland, he's only going to go 3 1/3. And he's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits I've got him for. He walked 1, struck out 4. And he's still responsible for this guy. So he's given up 6 runs. He could be 7 before the inning is over. We shall see. Sevilla will now face Reese Hoskins with Contreras at first and 1 out. Needs a double play to get out of the inning. See what Sevilla can do. That's a 2, possible balk or pass ball. We're looking at a possible balk. He has a 0 balk rating. Sevilla on the season, 1-5, 7.06 ERA on the 2025 season. They're looking for the double play. They get a 1-6. That is a strikeout. And they bat around now as we extend the 4th inning to the next column. So everybody bats around by 1 inning. You got to love these bat around innings. So Sal Frelick, who led off the inning with a single, was back to the plate. Runner at first, 2 down. Sevilla trying to get out of this nasty inning. Oh, that held up. Let's try again. We get a 2-5, and that's going to be a single to left field, so the inning will continue. He gets his 2nd hit of the inning. Contreras will go to second base, rather. And here is my cousin Vinny Capra. Clutch situation still. There's a 2, balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk chance on Stallings. And we'll check his balk rating. Stallings' balk rating, or pass ball rating, rather, is a 2. So there is no pass ball. Here's Vinny. 4-4. And that's a catcher X. So Stallings is a 3E1. 3 1/3 for a catcher. That can be a little problematic, maybe. 3 1/3 is a possible wild pitch. And a 1 and a 9 is no problem. So it's W/G, and it is going to be a wild pitch. So wild pitch will move the runners to 2nd and 3rd. And Capra's still at the plate now in a clutch situation. That's another 1. And a 13 is a wild pitch. 2nd wild pitch in a row for Vinny Capra. And that's going to score a run and make it 7-0. I'm sorry, for Sevilla. It's going to make it 7-0. 6-4, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Tovar. He's a 2E16. 2 1/3, and that's going to probably get through for a hit. Most likely. Check the charts here on a 2 1/3. 2 1/3 is a G3 pound, so he does get to it because he wasn't holding the runner on. Let's see. He's an E16. He's got to avoid 14 and 17 to get out of the inning. which he does. So finally they retire the side. But a 7-up here for the Milwaukee Brewers. They lead it 7-0. Close the book on Freeland. He is responsible for all 7 runs, and all of them are earned because wild pitches count as earned runs. So Freddie Peralta looks like it's an insurmountable lead for the Rockies to be behind by that much to a pitcher who's pitching that well. 1-3 for McMahon. It's a split. 1-8's a single. And that's a 12. Of course, now when the Rockies need a low number, they don't get it. So it's going to be a line out to second base. 1 down, and here's Chris Bryant. 1-5, and he grounds to first. That's 2 away. Brings up Kyle Farmer. 5-9. That's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Ortiz. He's a 2. 2 and a 3. We've already seen 2 and a 3. He will get to that. Shortstop E10. Got to avoid 16, 17, and 18, which he does, and that's going to end the inning. So just like that, 3 up, 3 down, the Rockies are back out in the field, and that's not really helping their pitching. We go to the 5th, still 7-0. Shavi'i will try to – hello, Philip. Shavi'i will try to pitch another inning here, see if he can get out of the mess that they're already in. 5-8, and that's a ground ball. I'm sorry, he's a switch hitter, so 5-8's over here. Ground ball, but still the same result. Ground ball, second base X. That is Farmer. 3 3 and 20 is good. E5 for a second baseman. He just has to avoid 16 and 18, which he does. So that's going to be 1 away. Start the 5th. Here is Ortiz. 5-9, and that's an in-home run shot, but he has weak power, so it's just going to be a single for Ortiz. He's 3 for 3. That'll bring up Turang. 7-0. They're not going to try to steal. They'll call off the dogs as far as that goes. Here's Turang. 2-8 for Turang, and that's going to be a walk. So first and second. 1 out for Jackson Chourio. Oops. Dropped my D20 here. Jackson Chourio. 1-7 for Chourio, and that's a fly ball to center. 2 down. For Christian Yelich, who has struck out twice and grounded out 0 for 3. One of the few Brewers not hitting. 4-7, and that's a walk, so it's going to load the bases. Shavi'i walking his second of the inning, and that loads the bases. 2 outs for William Contreras, the catcher. Still technically a clutch situation despite the score, but it looks like on here he's neutral. 6-8, and that's a ground ball to short to end the inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 7-0. Clearly, Brewers in charge of this makeup game. Rockies probably have to regroup for tonight's game and see if they can turn it around and at least get a split of this day-night doubleheader. Here's Tolia. Tolia is a 3-4, and that's a walk for Tolia. Now it's going to bring up Veen, the right fielder, uncarded. He is a left-handed hitter. So if it comes off Peralta, will be in the blue. He's under his own. 2-2 is a foul out to the catcher. So he fouls out to Contreras, 1 away for Jacob Stallings. 6-8, and that's a walk. Boy, I roll 6-8 an awful lot. I don't know what the deal is with the 6-8, but it's coming up quite a bit. No idea why, but it is coming up quite a bit. Here is Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 6'10" lefty. That's a ballpark single check. You know what that's all about. That's a 1-19, and that's a single to load the bases. So the bases are loaded with 1 out for Brenton Doyle, the leadoff man, who's been struggling all season. Now's the time for him to break out, do something. 1-8. Yeah, he does something. He grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. Giovanni's Taylor shot. tailor-made double play of the game, ends the inning and takes the Rockies out of any potential runs. 6-4-3. Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you have tailoring needs and you're in the Lemoyne, Pennsylvania area, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They will give you a discount. They're the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made play of the game. All right, Shavi out for a second full inning. And here is Reese Hoskins. 4-9, and that's going to be a fly to right. And we're off and away here in the top of the 6th for Sal Frelick. 1-3 for Frelick, and that's a hit by pitch. So Frelick gets plunked. Not too happy about it, but he gets plunked. And here's Vinny Capra, my cousin Vinny. Another 6-8. How many 6-8s can I roll this? That's going to work out in Shavi's favor because that's another Giovanni's Tailor Shop. Tailor-made double play, 6-4-3. And that'll do it for Shavi. And the Rockies will go to their bullpen again. In the 7th inning, Shavi is going to pitch 2 2/3 innings. And let's see what he gives up. He gives up 1 hit, 2 hits. Just 2 hits, no runs. He walked 2 and he hit a batter. So his control was not very good. And 1 strikeout. So they will turn to another bullpen arm in the top of the 7th. But right now, bottom of the 6th we go. Peralta, this was the 5th inning was his fatigue inning. So he's 1 batter away from reaching fatigue here. In fact, actually, he was fatigued. I missed that. He gave up 3 base runners, so he's actually fatigued, but he's got a 7-0 lead, so they're going to keep pitching now. If he hits a dot, by my house rule, when he hits a dot, he's got to come out of the game. But he's got a 7 lead to work with. So here's Tovar, 4-10, and that's a strikeout. And for Peralta, that is strikeout number 6. Brings up Ryan McMahon. Oop, I got hung up there. Let's redo that. McMahon, 4-5, lefty. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 7. So Peralta going out in style. This will be his final inning. But he is going out in style, it appears. 1-6, and that's a strikeout. So he's going to strike out the side to end the inning. That'll do it for Peralta. He's going to pitch 6 shutout innings, Will Peralta. And he's not going to give up very much. He did walk 3. That was a little high for him. Struck out 8. No runs, and he only gave up 2 hits. So obviously he is in line to get the victory. And we will go to, let's see, 1-6. Actually, I need to fix that because that should have been Chris Bryant's at bat. The nameless players are getting to me a little bit. It was not a strikeout. That was on Farmer's card. And actually, it was Chris Bryant's turn. And on a 1-6, he grounds to first. So it's not going to be a strikeout. It's a grounder to first. So Peralta has 7 strikeouts, not 8. Not that it matters, but just to try to be accurate. So still, either way you go, that's going to do it for Peralta. Now we're going to the bullpen for the Rockies to get a new arm. And we'll see who they want to bring out. Maybe somebody can give them some innings. Going to go to Jake Bird. See if the bird is the word. Jake Bird coming on. Bird, 4-2, 5.53 ERA. He would later go to the Yankees. Right now, he is with the Rockies. Mr. Bird. And here is Isaac Collins to lead things off. Bird's a -3, so it's a -4. But with the 7-0 lead, I don't think they're going to try any steals here. Oh, that didn't go through. Let's try this again. Hopefully tonight we'll be back on schedule, and then tomorrow morning back on schedule, assuming the internet behaves. 5-5 is going to be an in-home run chance, 1-10. He does have normal power, so it's a 1-10 home run for Isaac Collins. It's an 11. He'll settle with a double. So Isaac Collins greets Bird with a double. And that'll send up Joey Ortiz. So we can always see the Brewers are a much better team than the Athletics. 6-12, and that's a ground ball pitcher X. Bird is a 3E26. 3 and a 3. That's not good. See what we can do with a 3 and a 3 as a pitcher. 3 and a 3 is actually going to be a single. E26. E26 and a 16. E26 and a 6. There is no 16. There's a 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and 18, but no 16. But it will be a base hit, 1 star. And that's going to put runners on the corners. Nobody out for Bryce Turang. Infield at double play depth. That's a 1. That's a 15 wild pitch chance on Bird. And that will be a wild pitch that will bring home a run. Now they can forget the double play as well. 8-0 Brewers. Ortiz at second. Nobody out. 4-7 for Bird is a strikeout. Back to the top of the order, and Jackson Chourio. 3-7 for Chourio, and that is a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Bird. 2 down. Here's Yelich. Still technically a clutch situation, despite the 8-0 lead. And he does gain a hit on 1-7. But he gets a 1-11 instead, which is a ground ball to first to end the inning. So the run comes in, makes it 8-0 as we go to the 7th inning stretch, and the Brew Crew will need a new pitcher. And there's probably a lot of guys in the bullpen that I don't know much about. These are the guys they have available according to Action PC. From the left side, they have Tyler Alexander and Jared Koenig. From the right side, they have Nick Mears, Joel Payamps, or Payamps, I guess it's called, Payamps maybe, and Abner Uribe. So we've got all these guys available. And just looking at the list here, I think we're going to go to Payamps. And if I miss, I'll have to figure out how to pronounce that name later. But Joel Payamps. He will get the call. 0-1, 684 ERA and a save. But he inherits an 8-0 lead, so I don't think that's going to be a big issue for him. -4 on the whole. Not that the Rockies are going to try to run it all. And Kyle Farmer, it'll be Farmer, Tolia, and Veen due up for the Rockies. Payamps, 4-3 against a right-hander. Fly ball left field X. We're looking at Collins. He's a 3E8. 3 and an 18 is good. E8 in left field. The numbers to avoid on an E8 for left field are 3, 6, and then 15 through 18. And that is a total of 11, so he's just fine on that. 1 away. Brings up Michael Tolia, followed by Veen. That's a 6-4. Switch hitter batting left. Catcher X. So we're looking at Contreras. He's a 2. 2 and a 17. 2 and a 17 for a catcher is a G2, assuming there's no error. He's an E5. The only E5 errors on catchers are 16, 17, and 18. And so he makes the play. 2 to 3 ground out. And here is Veen. 210 for Veen, and that's a base hit. Veen gets a base hit for Jacob Stallings. 5-10, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. That's going to be it for Payamps. He's a 1-inning guy, as most of these relievers are. So Payamps is going to go 1 inning, give up a hit, nothing else, with a strikeout. And we go to the 8th. It is 8-0. Favor of the Brew Crew. And Bird has a relief factor of 2, so he will pitch a 2nd inning here. He'll be facing Contreras to start the inning. 5-10, and that's a fly to center. 1 out for Rhys Hoskins. The way this game is going, maybe I should went out and cut the grass before I did this. I don't know. 6-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Tovar is a 2. 2 and a 1. That's going to get through for a base hit. E16 and a 13. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but make sure. E16, nope, a 14 is an error. 14 and 17, but not a 13. But either way, base hit because of the double die being a 1. And Hoskins gets a base hit. Here's Sal Frelick. Got an overflow crowd of 5 in here right now, which is amazing for this time of day. 5-6, and that's going to be a double. Solid double to left. So people up in the general admission have now moved down into the box seats, as a lot of the crowd has left due to the score. Here's Vinny Capra. For the heck of it, they're playing the infield in. Not that it matters. There's a wild pitch chance of 15. And that's going to be a wild. That's like the 4th wild pitch of the game by the Rockies. I keep rolling these 1s. I got to do something with this D20 because it comes up 1 like 20% of the time. So I'm going to have to do something with that. I'm going to switch off and use a red one, I think, going forward. Ditch this thing. This thing is definitely broken. 3-9 for Capra, and that is a fly to right. 2 down. Could be a sacrifice fly chance. Why not? It's a right B question mark, so why not send him? Got nothing to lose at this point. You got a huge lead. Frelick's a 15. He add 2 to that, makes it a 17. Right fielder is a 0, so 1 to 17, and it's a sacrifice fly. So Vinny Capra actually has a sacrifice fly, and it is now 10-0. They hit the double digits. 10-0 Brew Crew. 10-0 Brew Crew with the bases empty for Isaac Collins. 2-11 is a ground ball to second. That will end the inning. That'll do it for Bird. Bird's going to go 2 innings, and he's going to give up 3 runs, all of which were earned. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, no walks, and just 2 strikeouts. So we need a new pitcher for the Brewers, and they will go to left-handed pitcher Tyler Alexander. 3-5 with a 6.19 ERA. Tyler Alexander. And he will be facing Mickey Moniak the Maniac to lead things off in this 10-0 game. 1-3, and that is a strikeout. And in all candor, if this game was played on the computer, I would, at this point, if I was playing this offline and on the computer, I would sim the rest of this thing. It's just like a chore now just to finish it. 2-7, and that is a single 1-2, or double 1-2, single 3-20, and that's going to be a single for Doyle. Brings up Tovar. 6-6 for Tovar, and that's going to be a 1-14 double. 15-20 for a single. 2 stars both ways. That'll be a single 2 stars. Runners at the corners. Rockies looking for their first run of the game to break the shutout. McMahon stepping to the plate. Whoops, that got hung up there. Lefty on lefty matchup. Brewers playing for the double play. I still got stuck up there. How do these things get stuck up here like that? There we go. 5-6, lefty. That's a single to right, and the Rockies are finally on the board. Single to right field. And so they're actually going to send, I think, Tovar, or are they? Now you're down 10-1 now. You're not going to send the runners. So they'll stay at second base for Chris Bryant. It's now a 10-1 game. 2-11 against the lefty, and Bryant's got a home run chance, 1-7. And a double, 8-20. That is a double for Chris Bryant. It's assumed to go to center field. McMahon will hold at third with only 1 out. Scoring is Tovar, and all of a sudden it's 10-2. Rockies at least showing some life, maybe for momentum in game 2. Here's Farmer. Brewers playing the infield back. They have a 8-run lead. No use playing in. 110. Ground ball pitcher A. Well, the pitcher by default is in, so that's going to freeze the runners. 2 down for Michael Toglia. Veen on deck, but they would pinch hit for him if it gets to that. Toglia, 5-7, and that's a walk, so it will get to Veen, and they will pinch hit for Veen as a left-handed hitter. They want to have they want a righty up there. So they're going to the bench, and they're going to get Tyler Freeman to pinch hit. And he will stay in the game as a right fielder. So Tyler Freeman, pinch hitting. 2 outs, and the bases are loaded. So Freeman, pinch hitting in the 8th. And then right field in the 9th. So Freeman is up, facing Alexander. 2 outs, bases loaded. That's a 3-7, and he grounds to short to end the inning. That's going to do it for Alexander. He goes 1 inning, gives up 2 runs. And he does it on 4 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. So we go to the 9th, 10-2. Rockies will bring out another pitcher. And they will go to, let's see who's coming up. They're going to go to Louis Peralta, a left-hander. He's awful, 1-3 with a 9.47 ERA. So that's why he's in there, because he's in mop-up duty. Peralta. And he will face, to start things off, Isaac Collins. I'm sorry, no, it'll be Joey Ortiz, because Collins made the last out. So Joey Ortiz, your batter. That's a 6-3, and that's a strikeout for Peralta. Rare strikeout for him. He gets the strikeout. That brings up Turang. That's a 1-4 against the lefty. Ground ball to short. 2 down for Jackson Churio. And that's a 2-9, and that's a strikeout there. So a nice inning for Peralta. He's going to go 1 inning, strike out 2, give up nothing. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. I would say last chance for the Rockies, but they're down by 8 runs. So I don't think there's much of a chance. Going to the bullpen for the Brewers. They're going to go to right-hander Nick Mears. Not a save situation, obviously. Mears 5-3, 3.49 ERA and a save. He would face Stallings, but they're going to pinch hit for Stallings. And they will use Nick Martini, a left-hander, to come out and pinch hit for Stallings. So Martini will pinch hit here in the 9th. Against Nick Mears, 10-2 ball game. Bottom of the 9th. Game 2 of this day-night doubleheader is tentatively scheduled for 9 o'clock tonight. 6-9. Lefty is a pop out to first base. 1 away. That will send up Mickey Moniak. Moniak the Maniac. He's 1 for 2. 6-11. Split. 1-7's a single. 8-20 lines out. And he lines out to second base. So the 3-game win streak by the Rockies certainly going by the wayside in a emphatic way. Here's Brenton Doyle. 6-9 on Mears as they fly to center, and that will do it. Mears goes 1-2-3 in the 9th. And a very lopsided 10-2 Brew Crew victory over the Rockies. Winning pitcher is Joel Peralta. The loser is Freeland. He's now 0-3. get the line score here. 10 runs, 16 hits for the Brewers. I don't believe there's an error on either team. It doesn't look that way. Rockies, 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. So game 10 is in the books. The Rockies dropped to 3-7. And the second game of this day-night doubleheader tonight around 9, maybe 9:15. Yeah, back to reality, Kenyon. Absolutely. So this was a game that should have been played last night, but Xfinity decided that maybe they didn't want me playing last night. Yeah, if you send me an email, I can let me send you let me put my email in the chat, and then you send me an email, and I'll send you the charts. Let me type this in here. These are courtesy of ID Jester. Shoot, I've got the cap lock on. That's not very good. Let me take the cap lock off of that. You send me an email to that address, and I will get you the PDFs of these charts. There are 4 separate PDFs. I will attach all 4 PDFs right there together in one email for you. One PDF is the infield, one PDF is the outfield, one PDF is pitcher and catcher, and the other PDF are the sacrifice bunts, hits and runs, and injuries and all that stuff. So send me an email to that email address, and I will be happy to send you the PDFs of these. They're very helpful, much better than the loose floppy things that come with the game, that's for sure. So no question, send me those and I will get them to you later on. Sometime today, not sure when, but sometime today I will. Let's see here. So Rockies fall 10-2 and fall to 3-7 on the replay. They will come back tonight for the regularly scheduled game against the Brewers. And as we look at that regularly scheduled game and check out the pitching matchup for both teams, it is a game played April the 9th, Wednesday, April the 9th. And let's see, that's going to match up. Let's see here. Where'd it go here? That's going to match up. Well, actually, I shouldn't have used Alexander for 1 inning, huh? He's scheduled to get a spot start. I guess he's the opener. I don't know. I guess he's an opener. He went 3 2/3 in game 2. So we're going to have him pitch. He's going to start the ball game, Tyler Alexander. He'll be backed up by Paguro, Mears, Koenig, and Anderson. There are a couple guys that are on the Milwaukee bullpen that aren't carded because they're marginal players. So I would have to use the non-carded players to do that. Grant Anderson is carded. Let me check Paguro. I think Paguro is the guy that's not carded. Yeah, Paguro is the guy that's not carded if I wanted to go that route. Or I'll just use, as many as I can. But it'll be Alexander against Anthony Sensatella for the Rockies. That'll be the game tonight, assuming that's a big assumption that the internet will hold out. And it's kind of weird because when I recorded the game this morning for the 87 replay, as soon as that game finished, the internet seemed to magically start working again without any breaks. So very strange how that happened, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. You never know how things are going to work out. It's technology, and anything can happen with technology. Let me check something here real quick. Make sure nothing else is going on here. Yep, I think that's going to do it. All right, so I do appreciate all of you for stopping by, especially on a whim that I did this, and it's not my normal time. It's usually Uncle Ron's time, but since Uncle Ron's not streaming right now, I figured it was okay to test the waters around this time of day. And granted, no, she's not doing the wires. She is over here. Tabby, let me see. Since the game is over, I'll let her come on the field here. Tabby. 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 What are you doing? You don't know what you want to do. Nobody wants to see your fluffy tail. Come on, down here. All right, anyway, there she is. So hopefully tonight, game 2 of the Rockies and Brewers series, the regularly scheduled game. And then hopefully tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, back on schedule with the 1987 American League replay. And that game will be Milwaukee and California. So hopefully, Chuck, you can go back and watch the recorded version of the Tigers and Mariners that I recorded this morning. One that was having internet problems. You can go back and watch that at your leisure. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday, whatever you have planned. And as usual, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And I'll see you all down the road.